Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration, The Power is Within podcast. And that's exactly where it's at. The power is within. If you believe that, you'll receive it. Sound like I'm going to preach here, but I'm not. Tonight, it's not about me, although I wish it were. It's about Paulina and what was it? What women want from men. And we're going to delve into that in the psyche of a woman, Paulina. Of course, she's only 16. Some people say she's still a child. But there was a time when you were considered a woman when you became, 13 or 14?
12 or 13.
Over 13.
It was when you became of age when you hit puberty.
Yeah, well, for some it's sooner than that. But anyway, exactly in this state, at 17, is the age of consent. And in some states, many states in the U.S., it's 16. But of course, we know, as Paulina has told me many times, many of her, how would you say it, classmates are out running around being promiscuous at 13. How many girls were pregnant before they were 15?
I think 3 that are in my grade.
3 in your grade.
Yeah.
So it's a common
And they
thing.
all have babies now. And they have a very hard time with school. One of them doesn't because her mom takes care of the kid, which probably isn't the best idea because it's your kid. You should be taking care of your kid.
Yeah.
I mean, your parent, it's like putting your kids in a daycare. They don't know who you are if they're not around you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that seems to be the agenda these days is go get an education, put your kids in daycare, let someone else raise them, and you go out there and make the money and be somebody. How do you feel about that?
I think it's
that agenda that's promoted.
In my opinion, I find that I don't want to say stupid, but I do find it a little bit ridiculous because if you're going to have a kid, you take care of it and don't have a kid alone, because if you have a kid alone, you're going to have a hard time raising it by yourself. Not saying that you can't do it. I mean, my dad did it and with 6 of us, but then again, you had mom around for a little bit, but
yeah,
women's a lot harder to, like, when you're a woman raising a kid. And even girls post about it now. A lot of girls like to say they're independent, and the next thing you know, you see them saying something like, oh, well, people don't understand how hard it actually is being a single mom, but they try to put on this front like it's easy. If you put your kids in a daycare, they're not going to know you when they get older, meaning you won't have a close relationship with your kid. Not only that, you shouldn't have a kid and then immediately go back to work if you have a husband who can work for you and you can stay home and take care of the kid. Maybe that's not what some people want to do. In my opinion, I think it's the best idea to do. And it's just, you kind of get lucky if you have a man around, because then you don't have to get up early for work. You don't have to go out and, it's just simple stuff. Although raising a kid is hard, it'd be much better than you trying to work and raise the kid at the same time. Those two things don't mix well. It's like oil and water. It just doesn't go together.
Well, that's what they try to tell modern women is you can have it all, the career, the children, the family, and everything. But I don't think you can do it. Lie.
Necessarily, I'd say you can have a career and a kid at the same time, but it'd be really, like, you would have to work at it. And, like, the only time I ever see that as an actual thing is if you have your own career, like you have your own business, like a family business, like you do.
Something from out of the house.
Yeah. So, like, it's got to be something you can be able to manage with a kid, but even then it's hard. So, like, say you have a job and your husband's not making enough money to support the both of you. You probably shouldn't have a kid in the first place if you don't have the money to support a kid. So, like, one time, like, I just think of it as, if I had a kid now, when I was with a guy, I wouldn't necessarily be mad. I'd be a little bit disappointed because I know I can raise a kid so much better if I get a little bit older than right now. Does that make sense?
How much older?
Like
I'm gonna find out
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the younger you have a kid, the better. Not only that, I think if I stay underage and have a kid, my insurance will cover the hospital bills. So I won't have to pay for it.
That's where you need a man. The man should be able to
pay
provide for you and the child.
But if I had a kid now, I'd be disappointed because I'm still trying to do school. I have pageants I'm doing. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing, and I'd be disappointed because of the fact that I know I can take care of a kid better if it was like 2 or 3 years from now. Then, not saying I couldn't take care of a kid now, because it's kind of like when I went and babysat my brother's kid, it was so easy. It was easy for me because it came to me naturally. It comes
It's really
to
easy
you
until
naturally.
they start crawling around.
Yeah. When they get in
everything.
their toddler age, that's when I think it becomes a problem. But it came to me naturally when I first babysat as a kid. It was also like, it just felt, what's the word?
Natural.
I guess natural. Yeah. It felt right, I guess you could say, because it's just what us girls do. I mean, no matter how many girls try to deny it, our job is to take care of a child. Like,
Yeah, how many men are working in daycares? Think about that one.
yeah. So it's like, I mean, men can take care of children, just not the same way that a woman can. So the best thing I would say to even do is have it evenly. So I would rather get a husband and stay with him and marry him and then have my kid. I wouldn't want to have a kid with someone I'm not married to, because then they can just leave.
Right.
And then I don't have what I need to take care of the kid.
Yeah.
So
what's up, Wade Emery? Wade's in the chat. Glad you're here. All right, so we'll get to the point here.
Mm-hmm.
What was the point? Oh yeah, what women want in a man? What kind of man attracts a woman? What kind of man attracts women? We'll just not say women. What kind of man are women attracted to?
I'd say masculine men, obviously.
And what does that mean?
Someone who can take a lead in the relationship. Someone who Here's another thing that I just thought of, because I was going to say a guy with money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not necessarily, if you say that, you're not a gold digger.
You're
not a gold digger. And
red flag.
Would you rather date a completely broke guy, like just no money at all, and marry him, or date somebody who has money and can take care of you financially? Like, I guarantee a lot of girls like to say, "Oh, I date men for their personalities and you know, blah blah blah, what they can personally bring to the table." No, that only takes you so far. A personality can only give you so much. If I went and dated a guy that had a nice personality, who was straight high school dropout, does nothing with his life at all whatsoever, where would that get me?
True.
Not a kid, not a marriage, not a happy marriage, at least. If I went and dated somebody who could financially take care of me, it would be so much better. Not saying they have to have like a bad personality or good personality. Just having money is such a bonus in a relationship, because
it's kind of hard to live without it.
Yeah. So it's like, if I went and dated a guy who had no money, wasn't making anything, didn't do anything with his life, I wouldn't get far in that relationship. There's nowhere to go in that relationship. Yeah. It's like you're just stuck.
Well, he's not very motivated.
Yeah.
Put a 1 in the chat if the sound's good, you guys. Can you hear us good? Or can you hear us well?
But I just think it's a lot better for a guy to have money than no money at all, because if I want to have a kid with him, I don't want to go out and have to work because we're not making enough money. So
thanks, fellas.
That's why, like, the guys that I want to start talking to, because I've dated some really weird people, but the guys
have you now?
But the guys I want to the guys I want to start talking to now are guys that are already raising money to be able to move out of their house when they turn old enough. I like older guys. I don't know what it is. I think it's just they're more mature. At least some of them are. Some of them are not at all.
Right.
But then again, those are the same people who don't have a dad around. So I don't know. What I look for in a guy is masculinity and someone who could take lead in the relationship. I don't want to be put up on a pedestal and take lead in the entire relationship. It's actually exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you've had that before, dating some younger guys.
A million times.
Yeah. So is it hard to find a masculine man now?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I've met like one just recently, but other than that, I have not met a single guy that I guess you could say could handle me, because I'm obviously,
we don't want to have to handle
I'm obviously high maintenance though. So
that's a scary thing when a girl says you can't handle me.
What
do you mean by that, though? Let's be more explicit.
Okay,
because most guys look at it like, oh no, some girl who wants to dominate.
No. I mean it is like, okay, so say we're in an argument, or I'm arguing with you, and you come back and just keep throwing shots at me. I'd much rather a guy just be like, okay, talk to me when you're not mad, or something like that. Like, I'm constantly throwing arguments at people. I don't know why. I think it's because of the SHIT test. So I do that a lot. So
if a man argues, never argue with a woman. So if a man argues,
if you're arguing back and forth with me, it's like, oh my God, this is never going to end. I'm just going to keep throwing shots at you. It's just going to keep going back and forth, and then it gets us nowhere. I need a guy to be like, okay, I guess it kind of sounds a little bad, but I guess put me in my place in a way, because some guys are just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Like, please talk to me. Stop arguing with me, please. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. It's like, calm down. I don't want that at all.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of man turns a woman off?
A crybaby, someone who wants their mama, someone who tries to make me their mom. Like, what's a good example?
Give me an example.
I dated a guy once, okay, and I found out he had cheated on me. So I was getting ready to leave his house, and I'm sitting outside in the backyard on a chair, and he pulls up a chair in front of me, puts his head in my lap, and starts bawling his eyes out, straight, just crying, begging me to take him back.
Really?
That irks me, because the only reason why is because I know guys have feelings, but I'm not like here to hold you and cuddle you while you cry in my arms because you cheated on me.
Well, that brings us to the $1,000,000 question. Should a man cry in front of his woman?
No. I mean, I get like, say his best friend just passed away or something like that and he dropped a tear or something. That's not a big problem. Like, if a guy sheds like 2 or 3 tears in front of me, go for it. Like, that doesn't bother me. It's never bothered me when that happens. But when a guy is hysterically crying or just like crying and in front of me and trying to get me to like hold him and be there for him and just,
he just wants you to comfort him.
That's the type of stuff that's like, okay, let's not do that.
Well, how about if he lost his job at the factory? And
that's worse.
How about if he comes in and says his boss at the factory is mean to him, he doesn't know what he's going to do?
Yeah, that's worse, because then it's like, what do you want me to say? What am I supposed to tell you to do? You're supposed to be taking lead, asking me questions. I should be asking you questions. I should be coming home crying if I'm at work or something. You should not be coming home because your boss is mean to you.
Well, if we back it up to what you talk about men having money and how important it is, I would think from a woman's point of view, for example, let's say what happened between you and your mother, we split up, or let's say she would have, God forbid, she passed away. Mm-hmm. A woman wants to know that her man can take care of the kids if something happens to her.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I make good money, so I was able to raise you guys and not put you in daycare. Plus, I got 4 of the boys working for me now. So for how long? Since 2000, we divorced in 2011, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I know that when you're with a woman, she may say something like, "What would you do if something happened to me?" The one thing she doesn't want to hear is, "I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I could make it without you." But when you say, like I would say, well, I'd be okay. I'd be sad, of course, but I'd be okay. Then they act like they're mad. But that's what they want to hear. Yeah. They want to know that you're going to be okay, even if something does happen to them. That's what they really want to hear. Even though they're not going to act like, well, you don't care about me. You just go on and find somebody else.
There's been guys that I've dated that I'd be like, hey, what would you do if I died in a car accident or something like that? They'd be like, oh, no, I'd probably delete myself.
Yeah, but careful what you say.
I'd probably delete myself and be with you, and it's like, ugh, okay.
Yeah, I know guys do that. They don't. I mean, see, from a logical point of view, a man thinks, well, if I let her know how much important she is to me, and I couldn't go on without her, then she's going to love me, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
she needs to know that with her or without her, you're going to be just fine. You can continue on with your goals, your vision, your mission in life.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us this. I think my viewers would like to know, how does a woman attract a man? What did she do when she sees, for example, let's say you just came from Walmart, you're buying something, or you're supposed to go there anyway. But when you go to Walmart, let's say, or on the store, and you see a guy you like, and you see what do you do to give him the opportunity to approach you?
I think I'd walk by him maybe like once or twice, accidentally bump into him.
Oh, would you get that bold?
Well, yeah.
Depends how much you liked him.
Yeah. I'd walk by him a couple of times, and if he's looking at me some type of way or something like that, I'd continue to bump into him. But if there were so many times that I did that and he just didn't say anything. I wouldn't do it again because there's only so many times I'll do that. There's only so many times.
Some guys just don't get it, do they?
Yeah.
But sometimes we're not aware. We see a girl and she smiles at us, and we like, she smiled. I mean, we get so busy with what's going on with our
Yeah.
stuff that we don't. And then sometimes if we have someone with us, our girl, she'll say, "Hey, that girl likes you." It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
We just don't get it. So guys, you need to be
Yeah.
aware.
I can see that though because I know a lot of guys are kind of clueless when it comes to that stuff.
Got a question in the chat. Ricky Rich, nothing weird, but are there aspects you look for in a man that your father might have?
Okay, what does aspects mean again? It's whenever
Character traits,
Okay.
similarities.
long hair, I think, is what it is. My dad used to have when he was. Well, how old are you? How long did you have long hair?
Time I was 15 to 20 years old, probably.
So my dad, and all the pictures I've seen, my dad had long hair. It was like curly, kind of
It
like
was quite the hippie.
yeah. So he had long hair, and I've noticed that every person that I've dated recently has really long hair, and a lot of them are blondes. And then now I'm heading towards brunettes again because I'm always off and on with that. But my
Mhm.
dad used to be a blonde. His hair got darker as he got older, right?
Blondes had more fun.
And then his hair used to be really long. Another thing too is my
Actually,
dad's
kind of look like yours does now.
my dad's very independent with himself, and he takes role of this whole entire family, and there's so many of us. So I feel like when I see that in a guy, it's an automatic like, oh, I want that because I see the way he takes care of what how many of us are there? 5, 6? 6 of us.
6.
I see how he takes care of 6 of us. If I can see a man who has the same character trait like that as my dad, it just makes me like wonder, oh, he can, or it makes me think like, oh, he can take care of kids too. Like he can do it. So I think looks wise, with my dad's hair, he always had, or he had long hair when he was younger. I go for long hair guys. I don't know why. I just have always been more attracted to long hair guys. And then character, like personality traits, him taking a role, me seeing that in another, like a man. I think that's also what all women want. But the things that he does, if I see that in another guy, I think like, oh, he can really take care of me. Because he takes care of 6 of us, and then I'm just one person. If a guy has the same character traits as my dad, he can easily take care of me. It's not going to be that hard.
Okay. Let me see. Zach Jules says, is a man being able to fight a must for you, Paulina?
Kind of. Okay. Actually, no, yeah, it is. Because if I go out and some guy hits on me or smacks my butt or does something along the lines of that, and you just stand there and you're like, oh, okay, let's just leave. Let's just not bother him. That will be a problem. I will not speak to you. If we're out on a date and a guy hits like my butt or he comes up and starts problems with me and you don't do anything about it, I will never speak to you again. Because
There you have it.
why should I go out with a guy who can't protect me? Why should I go out being scared when I want to go out and have fun and I'm with a guy who can't even protect me? I wouldn't say you necessarily need to be like an extremely good fighter. Like Henry's a really, really good fighter. I'm not saying you need to go to that level extreme, but I want to be able to be protected when I'm out in public with you. If
Yeah, and
somebody
as
were
a
to do
father,
something.
I want to know that if she's out with a guy that he can protect her and take care of her. Because
Yeah.
contrary to what a lot of modern women think, they're not men. And when it comes down to it, they can't. Well, we've seen that in the sports when some people transition to men or women men transition to women,
Yeah.
and how much superior they are physically. So it's the same way. If she's out in the street, she's much more vulnerable. It's like if you break down the highway, I'm more worried about you or concerned than if Frank breaks down. Frank can take care. He can fight. He can take care of himself. He can always run pretty fast.
Yeah.
As where with you, you're more vulnerable. I mean, that's just an obvious thing because physically we're biologically different. So let me see. Okay, being able to fight. Yeah, and your brothers can fight. I can fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I think is important. There we go. We fight and.
That's Mark.
Oh, that's Mark. Yeah, that's
Love you too.
That's our older brother, Mark. Yeah, he's a fighter too.
See, though, that's another thing too. The guys being able to fight is such a plus for me, and I don't want to make like them being able to box and do stuff like that all about me, but I mean, it's so much, it makes it so easier for me because say I'm with a guy, he's not protecting me, and I just got smacked by another dude or a dude spit in my face or something. I could easily make one phone call and the entire family's on their way there already.
Yeah,
and this guy's just standing here like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, not only is the guy who spit in my face going to get beat up, you're going to get beat up too because you didn't do anything to protect me.
Actually, I seen it. It was with you, Frank. Wasn't it some guy was giving you a hard time? Wasn't it?
Where at?
Out there at here a few years back.
Oh, yeah. Someone
Wasn't
was.
that Frank?
Yeah. And then Mark and
He
Henry.
called and
Mark,
then,
Henry, and Claude pulled up
and they all went out there
and took care of it.
took care of the situation.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go on here. What most interests a girl about a man? Like when you see a guy out and you're attracted to him, and you haven't spoken to him, you don't know anything about him. What is it about that man that attracts you? And of course, physically, but let's go deeper. Is there something about the way he moves, the way he carries himself, the way he is in public, his social?
Yeah.
What is it that there's been guys I'm sure you've seen it. They weren't that attractive, but there's something about him physically, but there's something about him you like.
I think what it is the way that they carry themselves. So like, I guess it's kind of in their walk. If there's a certain type of way a guy can walk and it makes you think like, it's kind of, I wonder how he's like in person. Cause I've seen a couple of guys who walk like this.
Yeah.
They just walk around and I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's weird. But then I'll see guys who like stand up, keep their head up and aren't like this on their phone.
So stand up straight, keep your head up.
Yeah. And like look around. I mean,
aware.
Don't be so like, you can tell when a guy doesn't have any confidence in himself too. So like when a guy's just like walking around and
by the way he carries himself.
Yeah. Like girls can tell when a guy before even speaking to somebody, you can tell. Yeah. Another thing too, speaking of like before you speak to a guy, something that tells you a lot about a guy, I would have to say, is his shoes.
I've heard that before. Guys, shoes.
That's like the first thing that I will look at.
Women look at your shoes.
I always look at shoes. I have to look at shoes because in a way it kind of tells me the type of person you're going to be and how well you
got to be clean,
take care of yourself. Yeah. I mean, unless you're like working and your shoes are dirty, that's different.
Now that you mention that, because you know how I dress when I'm at work. I wear my uniform for working construction. Women are attracted to men that dress like that, aren't they? I mean, when they're working, they're dirty, but they're working sometimes more so than in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Zach, what's he say? I'm not that tall of a guy. Would you say confidence could compensate for my height? Let me deal with that before you answer.
Okay.
Her brother's not very tall. Mark is shorter than. Is he the shortest?
No,
except for Kevin. Claude is the shortest.
Kevin's taller than Claude and
How
Mark.
old is
Kevin?
How tall is Claude?
I'd say he's maybe. I'm almost taller than him, so I'd say he's 5'3" ish.
5'3". Mark's what? 5'5", 4?
Yeah, 5'5".
Okay, those
5'5",
guys
5'6".
have no problem getting women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the height doesn't matter to girls unless it matters to you.
It's not necessarily like, okay, I don't think it necessarily matters how tall or short you are. If you have confidence, that's what attracts a girl. I mean, height is a big thing. It's a bonus. It's a plus for girls. But it's the way you carry yourself.
Looks will get your foot in the door, but if you open your mouth and there's nothing inside of you, you're beat.
100%.
That's what I've always said.
You have to have confidence. Because I know girls who are always like, oh, I don't date short guys, and then they start dating a short guy, and that's because of the confidence that short guy had. It's all about confidence. And
how she sees him,
and I don't mean like
I
don't mean like cocky confidence. I don't mean like, yeah, I'm the best person ever. I don't mean that because that type of stuff, in my opinion, and not all girls are the same. I mean, they kind of are, but in my opinion, when a guy's overly cocky, it's the biggest turnoff ever. Yeah. That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Geez, I jumped here. Just give me a minute here. I had lots of good questions here for you. Where did I go? What traits We kind of touched on this, but what traits turn a woman off that a man does? What things right off the bat? Let's say you meet that guy, you think he looks good, and you start speaking to him. Decide you said overconfident or cockiness is too much. What other things might he do that would turn you off or think, I don't want to see this guy?
I will say one big thing since you said like, oh, I'm out with a guy. If I'm on a date with you and you ask me to split the bill, that is gross.
And
that
that's
is
something
gross.
you guys, I see guys in the chat, not here, but on other deals all the time. Who should pay the bill? If you're a man and you ask her out, pay the bill. Don't ask her to split the check. That's just the way it is. I mean,
and it's
don't
also
take her out if you can't afford it, but I'm not telling you to take her out to an expensive restaurant unless you want to go for yourself. Don't do that to impress her.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go, you're taking her along with you. You pay the bill.
Mark asked the question.
What did he say? He asked, what you think about
hygiene on a man, if I spelled that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hygiene on a man.
Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah, she wanted to talk about this.
If you smell bad, okay, I have a hard time telling people if they don't smell great because I feel rude. If you cannot smell yourself, that's your first problem, okay? If you smell good, like even the smallest thing,
go ahead.
Even this, it's Jordan. Mark said nobody can hear the background when I texted him earlier. Okay, if you can smell a dude and he smells horrible, where is that cat coming from? I'm getting distracted. Okay.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, I think if you just wear deodorant, that's fine. If you don't wear cologne, you're good if you wear deodorant. Okay, because like Old Spice, in my opinion, has always been better than any cologne I've ever smelled in my life because you simply just put it on your armpits and it makes you smell completely good. I do have a problem when guys smell bad because it's automatically like, that's kind of gross.
You take care of that, Frank. Put her in the pen. No, it's a dog. No, it's not a girl.
Okay, but anyway, it makes me really angry when guys don't take care of themselves. Like they don't brush their teeth. They don't smell that great. I mean, I'm not telling
not too much of a desire to kiss a guy when his teeth haven't been brushed for a few days,
right? Or
a
like
few weeks.
I know a lot of guys nowadays they have a thing called weed breath, and
yeah, I can imagine
it's not absolutely horrible. It just is a little bit icky. It's not something I'm gonna like throw up about, but BO is my biggest problem. If you cannot smell yourself, or if you're not taking care of yourself before you go and see a girl, I think that when a guy takes a shower or takes care of himself or smells good when he comes over, I know he put in somewhat of an effort.
Also, it shows he has self-respect.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an automatic like, oh my gosh, I'm so attracted to you. If you smell good, you're winning by half the points with a girl. If you smell good.
Hit that like button, guys. Go ahead. We got a few people watching and only one like. Go ahead.
He said, hello, breath. Carry gum, boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, carry gum.
Yeah, no.
Well, since I started eating garlic, I carry gum with me all the time.
Yeah, it's just like, I love when a guy takes care of himself because, and a lot of people think nowadays that, like a lot of girls will say, well, if a guy showers and does his hair and stuff, he's feminine. No, that's not what it is. He just has respect for himself. Yeah. Like people are trying to make guys so feminine by doing masculine things. And then sometimes they'll make I don't know how to explain it, but you taking care of yourself and showering and doing your hair is not a feminine thing. It's just you simply caring about your own hygiene. It's not it's such a feminine thing, like da-da-da-da. No, it's not at all. I mean, I love when a guy takes care of himself and smells good. You're winning by about 30% or no, 50, 60% of a guy or a girl if you take care of yourself and you smell good.
Okay. We did looks, age.
Wear Old Spice deodorant.
Oh, you like Old Spice?
I love Old Spice. It doesn't matter what kind of Old Spice. Just any Old Spice, and I will literally marry you.
Okay, we spoke about this a little bit. Does age matter?
I guess it kind of depends. I feel like I'd have to know the guy to know if age matters. I met a guy who's older.
Oh, really? How old?
He's older, and he carries himself well. He's very smart about the reality of the world. He's taught me a lot of stuff, and I've only known him for.
Oh, really? We'll have to discuss this afterwards.
I've only known him for like 3-4 weeks, but he's really cool. Age doesn't necessarily matter to me unless you're like 40. But if you can take care of me though when you're 40, then that's fine. And if you look good, then that's fine.
Yeah, the problem is few.
But nowadays, I know a lot of girls will be like, "Oh my god, ew, I would never date a guy like that was like this much older than me." Okay, but if you date a guy that's 1 year older than you, how much do you think he's going to be able to take care of you right now?
That's a good point.
Another thing too, it's not weird for guys that are older to go for you, because nowadays the guys that are older, there's no girls for them because those girls have went around and had their fun and they have a whole bunch of bodies.
Right.
Guys would much rather go for younger girls because younger girls are more preserved. They're more, I guess you could say, innocent, or they like
men are concerned about a woman's past and women are concerned about a man's future, which is
exactly
pretty true.
So that's why a lot of relationships nowadays are such big age gaps. I don't mean like, oh, you're 12, go date a 20-year-old that does drugs and drinks every night of his life. I'm talking about a guy who can take care of you. Like, if you're dating an older guy and he can actually take care of you and he's not weird.
But see, women are so pushed to be strong and independent.
Yeah, but you can't do that in the real world,
because
when you get older, you're thinking right now, maybe some girls are thinking, I'm an independent woman, I can go without a man. Yeah, wait till you get older and then you have nothing.
Well, that brings me to another question I had written down too, about how does a woman feel when she's alone at home?
When you guys leave, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I lock every window. I lock every door. I am terrified. I would hate to live alone when I get older. I would absolutely hate it because first of all, it's scary. Okay. Absolutely scary. And you may think, oh, I can just get a gun. Okay. What happens when you shoot a guy 5 times and he still walks towards you? What happens if you don't know how to shoot a gun?
Up on meth. It's hard. With a pistol, I went with Mark the other day to the pistol range, and it's really hard to hit somebody with a pistol if they're moving. I couldn't really hit I'm a good shot with a rifle, but a pistol is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, another thing too is you have a gun and you shoot somebody who breaks into your house. Do you know how scary that is to see blood? Like, I would much rather have my husband or my boyfriend go take care of that than me, because it's not something, first of all, I can physically handle, nor mentally. If I shoot somebody, I think that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Yeah. But like, I would hate to live alone when I get older. And I don't think a lot of women understand that you may think you're independent now. And I'm not saying everybody needs a man, but I mean, you kind of do. If none of us dated and we were all independent, we would all die.
Yeah, humanity would extinguish.
The world would end. It's the same thing with people saying like, oh, I was born this way. And I'm not sending any hate towards the LGBTQ community. Not at all. But if God made women to date women, the world would have ended. There wouldn't be repopulation. Sure. There's no way. A man cannot get pregnant and a woman cannot impregnate another woman. If God did not make anybody that way, you were not born that way. I'm just saying that. It's my opinion. Maybe you got older, because I mean, when you're born, you don't think of anything. You're just a baby. I mean, you barely remember you being a baby. I barely remember me being a baby. But so God did not make women to date women, and God did not make man to date man, because
there are exceptions. I mean, I think there are people who are born with
more femininity than other men. Yes,
further. But in general, because like you say, in general, if that's what it was, then we would extinguish.
That's why I get a little bit irked when people say God made me this way, because if God did make you to date other women or date other men, the population we wouldn't be here now. Yeah. If that's how God decided to make people.
Yeah, I believe we all have free will and we have choice to decide what we want to do. Mm-hmm. So we'll stay off of that. All right. Let me see. Does it looks matter? We talked about looks, height. We talked about height. We talked about income. Okay, what about the way a man dresses? You spoke about shoes. What about the way he dresses? The modern day dress, man, a lot of men now are so casual, they just. I
know in your opinion, you dress a certain way, like all fancied up all the time, which is a good thing for you because you get more special treatment when you dress like that because you stick out more.
Yeah.
In my opinion, a guy now, like if I was dating a guy now, I wouldn't necessarily want him to dress like that all the time, only because he's younger and why I just.
But isn't it attractive?
It is attractive, yes.
Did you see how Henry was dressed today?
Yeah.
To go to the wake.
I do like the way that guys dress. I want it to be more casual, but in a good way. Not like all too fancy, not too dressed down, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So like pair of slacks and a shirt or something like that. But
how many guys do you even see in their late teens, early 20s that wear a pair of slacks?
Never.
Maybe in the city,
unless they're like going to. I mean, even then, I don't know. Because nowadays everyone wears sweats all the time.
So casual, yeah.
I mean, if you're just staying in all day long and you're absolutely not going anywhere, that's different. But if you're going out and about and you're dressed kind of bummy, that's one thing that I don't like, because then I feel kind of embarrassed to be around a guy, and then I just like, it's kind of a turn off in my opinion. Right. Yeah.
Let me see. Zach's got a question. I'm 5'4" and just. Here, you read it. I can't really see it.
I'm 5'4" and just feel like I'll get rejected right away. Seems like the tall guys always get the girls. Okay, hold on. Zach, what you just said right there, I'm not saying by the way you said that or by the way I read it or just the way you put your words in that little comment you just made, kind of shows me that in a way you don't have as much confidence as somebody your height should have. So that right there will make a girl unattracted to you. If a guy said that to me, I'd be like, it's kind of a pick me boy thing. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's just, I'm being honest. Yeah, truth hurts sometimes. But tall guys do manage to get the girls because of the way that they carry themselves. Tall guys are way more confident than shorter guys because of their height. So you saying that kind of shows me that you don't have as much confidence as just a regular person should. You need confidence is what you have to have. I get because I've dated guys who are shorter than me, and some of them had confidence and it made them, I know it doesn't it kind of makes sense in my head, but at the same time it doesn't. A guy that's shorter, if he has confidence, makes him taller. Yeah. Because he's standing taller when he has confidence. So that right there, you just need confidence. It's all you need. Just work on your confidence. Tell yourself every day that you're tall or something in the mirror. Just like, how much? Okay. Anyway, Zach, just gain some confidence and you'll see how many girls you can pull just with your confidence. That is it. That's literally all you need. Carry yourself well and gain some confidence and you're good. It doesn't matter how short, how tall you are.
Yeah, because once again, if we back up to Claude and Mark, they're what?
They're short.
5'4".
Claude's got a new girl over here every day.
Every time you turn around, they got another girl. Mark does too. Mark's a player. He's got girls chasing him. So of course he's with the steady now. But
no, Frank, you don't pull at all. How about how much a guy weighs? It doesn't necessarily matter to me if you're fit. I don't mean like 6-pack with big muscles. I mean just like in shape. That's literally all that matters.
I tell guys that's more for the guy's confidence.
Unless you weigh less than me, then that's when I don't like it, because how are you going to pick me up? How am I going to get on your back and you're going to carry me around if you weigh less than me?
We had that on the thumbnail. Frank was carrying
You're welcome, Zach.
her. Frank was carrying her through the water.
Oh yeah, Frank was carrying me because we went out to eat at Persino's up in St. Charles, and I had heels on and I couldn't walk in the rain because my feet were going to get all wet. My shoes would have been ruined. So Frank put me on his back and carried me, and it was like so effortlessly that he did that. How much do you weigh, Frank? He weighs 125. I weigh 107. So I wouldn't say weight necessarily matters as long as you can pick me up or something, because then I feel fat. I know it sounds so silly, but
if you can't pick your girlfriend
if you
up,
can,
she's gonna feel fat.
Especially me though, because I'm like the average of what a woman should weigh at this age. And my height, I'm 5'3" and I weigh 107 pounds. If you cannot pick me up,
Go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Go to the gym and figure yourself out, because what if I went out and whatever and I fell? Who's going to catch me if you can't pick me up? You're not going to catch me. Some other guy's going to catch me, and guess who I'm going home with? That other guy.
Yeah, I was like kicking the sand. All right, income dresses. We talked about how they dress. This thing keeps jumping on me. Darn it! I lost my thing. Okay, we kind of talked about this, but do women like tough guys, or what is it about bad boys that women like? What is it about bad boys that women find attractive?
It's the riskiness and the stuff that you guys do. So like, it's like exciting, like really exciting when you're dating someone who's not like.
Okay, so you say it's the risk, but a person could take that same bad boy attitude and take risk, like let's say playing football or boxing or in business deals, and that would you find that attractive the same as the bad boy? The guy is willing to take risks in life, and doesn't necessarily have to be he's out drinking and getting in a fight.
Yeah, no. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the same thing for me.
Doing business deals.
When I mean risky, I don't mean like, getting into fights and stuff like that. I mean like, I guess you could say kind of sneaking around or taking, like you say, taking a risk in work or boxing or football or something like that. It's as simple as that, because not only that, doing something with your life is a lot better. Like, I mean, a guy that I was just recently talking to, I asked him why he works so much, and he's like, because I want to, he likes to like beat himself up in order to, like, I don't know how to explain it, so he can like do more. He likes going through rough stuff. Like
he puts himself in adversity and challenge.
Yeah, he loves challenges, which is why he works so much as he does, and why he wants to do the things he wants to do when he gets older.
Yeah.
Because he likes taking challenges, seeing how far he can push himself.
Well, think about this. I did a video the other day about this, but I'll quickly share this and ask you. I don't know if I ever asked you what you thought about it, but when we went up to the my other house in Hannibal the other day, and there was somebody in there. Somebody had broken in, and we climbed up the scaffold, and I realized someone was in there when I saw the cell phone. So I called the boys up there, and they came directly. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't say they were afraid. Each of us grabbed a weapon. I had a crowbar. I think Henry had a shovel, and I don't know what the other guy. I think Claude didn't have anything except his fist, but he can fight.
Yeah.
So we went in the house and found this guy was actually asleep on my bed. We surrounded him and woke him up, but we had no idea what we were walking into, because I had a battle-ready Roman sword in the bedroom where he was at. So I didn't know if he had that or a gun or anything. But how does that, when you, of course, they're your brothers, but how does that how do you feel about when men step into danger like that, not knowing what's going to happen to them?
I think, in my opinion, it's obviously really scary, but it makes me feel a lot more secure in a relationship with that person, or like a lot more secure in my own family. Because
that if somebody came in this house,
they wouldn't
be up there hiding under the beds calling the police.
You guys would all take care of it. And what would I do? Figure something out myself, leave. Because that's not my job. It's not my job to take care of like that. That is not my thing. I would not come out here and try to fight someone who broke in the house.
So what if you were there and then we stood there and we said, God, there's somebody in the house. We better call the police. And we was acting like we was afraid.
I would run away from you.
You'd be afraid too.
I'd be scared, yeah.
Now, I'm not talking against calling the police, and there's a time and a place for that, but sometimes the police can't get to where you're at and take care of things. So I believe a man should be able to take care of his own business and not have to rely on the police, because then you become dependent on the higher authorities, and they're not always going to be there, as we've experienced here. That time that guy came over here, wouldn't leave, and I had to persuade him to leave the property.
Yeah.
And the police never did come. We called him afterwards because I thought he may be bringing a gun back. And then they wouldn't even come. So
they never ended up showing
So you
up.
just can't depend on them. I mean, I'm glad we have police, and they do keep the place safe. We don't have to have bars on the windows, and I'm all for the police. But sometimes they just can't be everywhere all the time.
Zach said, I heard something from Tate. He said, protect the kids and flee while I fight off the problem. That's true. 100%. I would grab my kid and leave. Because if I'm with somebody who can take care of it, I know they can take care of it. I feel like if they, like, you guys would put your lives on the line for me if someone broke in the house. All of you guys would fight that person off so I had time to leave, or just so I could go somewhere and not be here. If somebody does that for me and I'm dating them, that would make me 100 times more secure in a relationship. Like 1,000,000 times more. And like, say you do something bad does happen and you pass away. I know in my mind, and you know, that you were protecting someone and you gave your life to protect another life. You weren't just doing it to do it. You were protecting other people in your house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting how that works. But so many people are encouraged not to. Well, I mean, from the time the boys were in school, they would tell them anytime someone would bully them or physically hit them to cover up.
Yeah, to cover up
until somebody comes.
Yeah.
And
even then you
ridiculous.
Still get in trouble.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Does a man have to be religious for you? Okay, good topic.
Hallelujah.
Okay. I don't want to date an atheist, because someone who doesn't believe in God at all, I would not do that. I would not put myself in a position like that, because say I want to go to church in the morning with my kids. An atheist is going to be like, no, I don't want my kids going to church. I don't want you taking my kids to church. So I guess it does kind of matter. They don't have to be, oh my gosh, like I'm completely religious. Let's go to church every day of our lives.
We're not churchgoers, but we do believe in God, and we trust God.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't say he has to be like my type. I would want him on a certain level of religion. So like, then again, that's not something I talk to people about now because I'm so young and it causes a lot of arguments. But as I get older, yes, I would want to date somebody who has some sort of religion that goes with mine. Because if I date someone who's not religious at all and I want to take my kids to church, he's not going to let me take my kids to church. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here born for my faith in God or higher power, higher self, whatever.
So I guess you could say, yes, they do have to be religious, but I don't mean to.
We don't use the word religious. They have to believe in some kind of a higher power or God or
something like that. So it doesn't
have a faith.
It's not a big deal to me, but
many religions.
I prefer it.
Okay. What is it about? Okay, we'll say, what is it about nice guys women despise?
If it depends if you're too nice. Obviously, I like some guys when they're nice, but not like nice guys. I mean, nice guys are horrible.
Nice guys are generally
manipulative. They put you on a pedestal, and it's so exhausting because then you're constantly sitting here trying to be perfect for somebody, or constantly sitting here trying to make sure you don't do one thing wrong, because then they get insecure and then they start crying and then they ask for their mommy and they think I'm their mommy. So, I mean, that all leads back to guys crying. A nice guy leads back all the way to a guy crying and wanting his mom. That's where it comes from. So I don't like nice guys. It's too much, because I'll date guys and they seem kind of good at the beginning and then they turn into nice guys, and then I'm like wanting to hang out 24/7 is also horrible. That's how you ruin a relationship.
Yeah. Well, tell me, how can a man remain attractive to a woman in the long term? That kind of goes along with what we're talking about.
I'd probably say stay the same as you were when I met you, because if you're putting on a front just because we just met and you're not like that throughout the entire relationship, I'm not going to stay with you. If you are completely you when I meet you and I'm attracted to you and we get together, stay that way. Don't change anything, because I got with you because I liked you for a reason. You change that, I'm going to leave you.
Yeah, it makes sense, but guys do that. What did Wade say? Nice guys are...
neat guys, and neat guys eat guys.
Yeah. Yeah, nice guys. Nice guys finish last with girls, and nice girls finish first with guys. Mm-hmm. I think that's a pretty good saying. Do women get bored with a man easily?
If there's no excitement in the relationship, yeah.
What do you mean by excitement?
So, like, if we're doing the same thing every day, sitting in bed every day, not doing anything, it's boring.
Sitting in bed?
So, like,
what do you mean?
Like, laying in bed all day, not going to work, or not going out to eat, not going and doing things. Like, I want to have something to do. Like, I don't want to just lay in bed all day as soon as you get off work.
Make it sound like you've been laying in bed.
No, like, I don't want to, like, say I'm living with someone, okay, and we're dating, and all we do is sleep all day.
Well, God, that would be a boring life anyway.
Or, like, sit on the couch and watch TV all day as soon as they get off work, or as soon as I get off work. It's boring. There's got to be something there, like, oh, let's go out to roller skate or go have a night out or something.
Okay. Do women really want to feel equal?
Nope, not at all. I don't, at least in my opinion. No. Why would I want to be equal with you? Because we're not. So it's a lie. First of all, it's the big lie in a relationship. Me saying I'm as equal as you, because I'm not. You can't give birth. I can give birth. I can't go out and do construction like you. You can go out and do I don't want to be equal with you because that's boring. Yeah. That is boring. Being equal with a guy, splitting the relationship half and half. Like, I saw this video the other day. I don't know if this kind of relates to it at all, but I was watching a video and it said something about a guy could give you 80%, right? And you'll be with him. And then he won't give you that 20% you want, but this guy will give you 20%. So you'll leave the 80 to be with the 20.
Yeah.
And then that's all you have, 20%, when you could have had a guy that has 80% instead of 20. So I don't know how to explain it, but if the relationship is split half and half because we're equal, that's like splitting the bill, going out to eat. Okay, so this month you're going to pay the rent, and then next month I'll pay the rent. No, you pay for the rent the entire time. I take care of the kids and cook.
I agree. We talked about that. Okay. I've spoke to you about this before. Do women like to be accountable for their decisions?
What do you mean? Like, take responsibility?
Yeah.
No. Never. No, I don't, at least. I mean, I'll cook and I won't clean my pans afterwards because I just don't want to. So I won't, and I'll be like, it's not mine. But girls definitely don't do that. If a girl's wrong in a situation, she will not tell you that she's wrong. She will continue to.
Very rarely.
I will find a way to make myself right in a situation. Like 2 + 2 = 6. I will find a way to make that right.
Yeah, I very rarely had a girl tell me she was wrong about something. What do you think is most important to women deep down inside in regards to life and fulfillment?
Can you dumb that down for me a little bit?
What do you think is the inherent character aspirations? Maybe it makes it worse for a woman. What's going to bring a woman the most fulfillment in her life? The most happiness, the most joy.
I'd say having a good family, doing what you love. So me, in my opinion, getting married, taking care of my kids, staying home while my husband goes out and works. So I guess whatever makes you happy, like truly happy. I feel like that would. So in my opinion, me having my own family and being able to take care of my kids while my husband works is my definition of happiness.
But do you think some women or girls are being sold the idea that they're going to find happiness in a career just like a man does?
I think that's what girls learn nowadays, but it's not the truth. I mean, obviously you can love, like, say I want to do cosmetology. Obviously I love cosmetology, but how long is that going to bring you happiness for?
Yeah.
Only for a short amount of time when you can have your family for the rest of your life. So.
Yeah. What did Mark say? Does a man need goals
to be with you, Leonard? Yeah.
That's our nickname, Leonard.
100%. Yeah. Because it's like, if you don't have any goals, I'm basically a first priority in your life. I don't want to be your first priority at all. Like, I want you to have your own goals set for your life, because if you don't know what you're going to do when you get older. And then that leaves me kind of trapped in a relationship with someone who doesn't even know what they're going to do. Imagine one day you wake up and you're like, I don't know what I want to do today. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I'm sitting here like, really? That means I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of my life either. I mean, if I'm so dependent on, because girls are very dependent on men when they're with them, because he's supposed to take the lead in the relationship. So if you don't have goals and you don't know what you're doing, I don't know what I'm doing. because I'm following you. I'm doing what you're doing.
Right. Why do you think women go through the promiscuous stage?
Because they want to have fun and they want to go out and they want to go and do stuff because they're young. And yeah, you do that, you're not going to get a husband at all. I'm telling you right now, a lot of the girls that are Mark's age or Henry's age or Claude's age don't have boyfriends because they had their fun when they were younger and now nobody wants them. It's the truth. And I know some people don't want to hear that, but that's literally how it works. You go out and have your fun and go out with your friends and have girls' nights all the time, drink, party. You start to look worn out, and then nobody tends to want you.
Well, tell me this. That brings me to my next question. Who do you think is happier? A woman who sleeps with a lot of men or one who has a long-term relationship and only one man?
Okay.
And why?
Okay, so I think...
And you know people.
I think in girls' opinion, like in girls' heads, when they're out sleeping around and partying, it's fun and they're happy until that ends. When that ends and you go out and try to find a long-term boyfriend or go out and try to find something, it's not going to be what you want. It's like at all. So
why can't they get what they want?
Because it's like the reference that everybody else uses. You want something brand new or you want something used.
Yeah.
They would want something brand new. That's why older guys go for younger girls, because a lot of the younger girls now are preserved, but it's starting to get worse. And now the younger girls are starting to sleep around too. So there's not much fish in the sea for guys anymore. But if you're in a long-term relationship, obviously, I feel like there's going to be times where you're unhappy or you feel unhappy, but it is so much better than spending 3 years going around, sleeping around, being happy for 3 years, and then being miserable for the rest of your life because you can't find something that you want.
And a lot of them do it longer than that. They do it in their 20s till they get to about 25, 26, 28, and then they want to settle down, and they say, where's all the good men?
Yeah, and then you also can't have kids either because you're too old.
Well, by the time a woman's 30, 90% of her eggs are gone.
Exactly.
And the risk for problem pregnancy goes up too, or miscarriage. So, and most girls don't know that.
Yeah.
They're told they have plenty of time when the reality is they don't have plenty of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't have kids after that. Of course you can, but it's past the prime time to have kids. Back in the old days, before I was born, maybe they were doing it then. They would start telling a woman after she's probably 21 or 2 that she was becoming an old maid, because her prime time to have children actually is between the ages of 15 and 25.
Yeah.
So most people don't know that either nowadays. You've seen both examples of these types of women and the results of that. Let me see. What about dating apps? And we talked earlier about the deceiving photos. Why do women doctor up these photos? What do they call them? Filter up these photos, and they don't even look in person like they do on the dating app.
It's like catfish. They just do it for
the attention. They never plan on going out with. But what happens when they meet a guy that they really like, and all of a sudden they got to go meet this guy in person?
That's how you get dumped. That's how the truth comes out. I mean,
what do they think? Oh, he'll love me for my personality.
I don't understand it either. I mean, the picture you put up for the thumbnail on this video, completely natural, no filters at all.
Yeah.
It's literally the blandest picture ever. It's just me. There's
the one with the
me with my dress.
Oh yeah.
There's no filter on that.
Yeah.
It's complete. It's just one snapped photo. That is it. That's all it is. There's no filters on it. That's what I look like in person too. That's literally what I look like. Putting filters on does not help you, because
they do it. They have body filters too, don't they?
It's Photoshop to make your body look
good. Don't they have a filter you can use on a video also?
Yeah.
It's strange. Yeah, because I've met girls online, and I'll make them. I'll say, hey, let's talk on the cam, and it's like,
you can put a filter on that too.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, when you're FaceTiming someone.
I guess I can't believe it's the same person. I had them actually send me a photo doing the peace sign or holding the spoon. And it's like, this is the same girl. It's almost like a driver's license picture. It never looks like
FaceTime nowadays with like all this AI and filters and stuff. You can FaceTime somebody and have a filter on while you're on the phone with them.
I didn't know that. See.
Yeah.
So buyer beware. Okay. Why do girls post photos that? Oh, yeah, I said don't ever look like them. Well, why do they do that? Why do they post? You say for attention.
Male validation.
Oh yeah.
confidence, even though they know in their head it's not actually what they look like. They'll do it anyway.
So they get a lot of satisfaction out of the likes and all that and the attention they get.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, what do you think about a girl that's got a boyfriend, a steady boyfriend, or in a relationship, and she's posting provocative pictures on Instagram?
That's horrible. I would never. And some girls are like, well, I post it and I tag him like on my butt because I'll put like his tag on her butt. That doesn't make it any better. Why are you posting pictures like that in the first place? It's like when girls send nudes to their boyfriend or something before they meet. And
I
actually,
think you can say nudes on here.
Okay, well, it's like when girls send nudes to their boyfriend before they actually meet or start dating. Where's the surprise? Like, where's the...
Yeah.
If I've already seen it already, what's going to change now?
Yeah, I like a little mystery.
Yeah, like I see everything right now. What am I going to see in person that's going to wow me if I'm already seeing it? I must
say I've had girls do that, and it's an immediate turnoff for me.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm in a relationship with them for a long time and they send me, so that's a whole different deal.
Yeah. But if you've never... If you've never like been with them really and you're seeing all of it already over the phone, it's like, that's also another thing. If a girl's so like, say a girl has like one body, yet she's so easy to sleep with you. It's like been a week since you guys met and she's so easy to sleep with you. How do you know she only has one body if it's that easy? Some
people in the red pill community believe that if she's not with you on the first date, then she's not really into you. I disagree with that because I've been with girls. Maybe it's different now. And the ones that were with me on the first date rarely got a second date. And the ones that actually kind of held out and wasn't so easy to give themselves up, I ended up going out with them for several years.
Yeah, so it's like...
And they only had maybe one or two body before.
It's also like if you sleep with somebody like on the first night or like the second night or something like that, like a weekend you guys meeting, you're considered easy. Yeah. And that sucks for some girls because you don't want to be considered easy. But if a guy can get into your pants that easily...
Everybody else probably has been too.
Exactly. So if a girl's sitting here telling you she's got one body, yet she sleeps with you on the first night, in my head, I think she doesn't just have one body if it was that easy to get in her pants in the first place.
And if she says this, I've never done this so quick before.
She's lying.
She's done it a bunch of times.
She's lying.
Yeah. I hear that. I'm like, oh no, I wish you had said that.
Yeah, she's not telling you the truth. You can also kind of tell. Sometimes some girls, though, can look really, really good, yet have a lot of bodies and they get away with it. But when a girl has like a lot of bodies and all she does is party, you can tell. You can see it.
Wears and tears pretty fast.
Yeah, you can see it on their like face. But some girls are very easy to hide it when it comes to the way that they look.
You had a previous friend over here. How old was she? 15?
At the time, yeah. She's like a year.
How old is she now?
16.
16. And man, in a year amount of time of her out partying and running around and being promiscuous, she looks rough.
Yeah.
She's sad, really.
Yeah, she used to be so like gorgeous. Like,
yeah, she was a pretty girl.
Absolutely stunning. And now she's very worn out.
Yeah.
She don't look as good as she can, and her life isn't the best that it could be. Like a lot of girls nowadays who go out and party and sleep around don't go to school. They find a job that pays like $10 an hour.
Right.
That's it.
No and then education. Once again, that lifestyle wears and tears on a girl quicker than it does a guy. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Well, we've been going about, what is the time? 63 minutes now. We're going to wrap this up. Do you have any final advice for guys, what they can improve on, or one of the more important things that they can do to be more attractive?
Confidence and hygiene. If you smell good, oh my gosh. If you smell good, that's amazing. If you have confidence and you smell good, you're winning. You're the best guy in the world. Come on. And also, if a girl like presents herself to you, ask her out. What's the worst that could happen? She's going to say no. Then what? Then the next time you go and ask a girl out, it won't be as scary. If there's a girl in front of you and you think she's cute, ask her out. Do not be scared.
Now, let me ask you this too, for you guys to know this. How many times have you wanted a guy to approach you, you gave him signals and he wouldn't do it? Does that happen quite often?
Every time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because they're afraid to come up.
There's never been
just
a guy
assume she likes you.
There's never been a guy who's actually walked up to me and asked me out or anything. Yeah, if you smell good, you feel good. Work out and don't hesitate. Yeah. Antonio, I'm my dad's daughter. I'm Pauline Daniels. But anyway,
I couldn't figure out what the question was.
confidence, smell
Yes.
good, work out, get your life together before you date somebody. I promise you, she'll like you 10 times
What
more.
you are speaks so loudly she can't hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody in the chat for comments, and we will see you next time on the Powers Within podcast. Take care. Have a great evening.